Mike's drinking beer in the green room. What's going on, everybody? It's the Overlook Drive In. I hate the way I sound. This headset sucks. What's going on? It's Tuesday night. I feel like I don't know why I feel this way. Probably because we haven't been around consistently in a couple of months, but it just feels like we haven't done this in some time. What's going on, Mike?
Not a whole lot, man. I agree with you. It feels like we haven't done it in a while, but it really hasn't been that long. So super excited to get back on here, talk some Scream 2, some Scream leaks. Sean is doing something with his headphones. But yeah, I'm super excited to be here, man. Super excited to jump back into it. Everybody in the chat, appreciate y'all tuning in. It's going to be a great show. And yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Let's get some likes in here.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
All
Hit
that
us up
shit.
on AOL, AIM Messenger, GeoCities, all that stuff.
Man, I loved creating an away message on AIM. Those were the days my mom went to call out, Mike, get off the damn internet. Turn that internet off. She don't really sound like that, so if she hears me say that, she's going to be pissed. But
oh, man. I remember I had never had a messenger. Like, it had come and basically was extinct towards the end. And I joined this online, like, baseball league. It wasn't fantasy baseball. It was like an all simulation league where you had, like, draft your own team and trade for players. And you were the GM. The difference is every other team in the league was run by a human GM. And the only way you could communicate was through a messenger. And my God, I don't miss the annoying notification noise going off nonstop. Oh, fuck, a messenger.
yeah.
Didn't have that on the agenda tonight.
Another thing we don't have on the agenda tonight that I want to dive into, that I think we were going to dive into last week, Titanic.
I'm willing to dive into cliff notes of that. I don't want to dive too far into that because that's going to be our Gold Room movie.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
We can definitely talk about just our experience going to see it. Why don't we start? Pardon me. Why don't we start with that and go from there? What was yours like? I know you and I aren't big 3D guys, but
I thought it was amazing. I'm a big fan of the Titanic. It's right around that 10, 11, 12 mark for my favorite movies of all time. Usually in my top 10. It was an experience. I had obviously didn't see it when it came out on the big screen. Never saw it when it re-released. I think it released on the big screen back in 2012 or 13 was the last time it released in theaters. And then obviously here recently. So there was no way that I was going to miss this opportunity to, one, see one of my favorite movies of all time on the big screen. Two, see one of the highest grossing movies of all time on the big screen. I think it's back in its number 3rd spot, I believe, or 2, something like that, for highest grossing movie of all time. It was awesome, man. They did really amazing with the 3D. I really have no big complaints with it. Again, I'm not a big 3D guy, but I thought it looked phenomenal. You can tell they rendered it in 4K. That was really good. And man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't cry. I don't get emotional over this like movie. Like it's not one that makes me like super sad like it does for some people. I just think it's a really fucking good movie. But really, not gonna lie to you, man, when that like the opening, like as soon as that score hit the big screen and those speakers, man, I didn't cry, but I got goosebumps over my body, man. It was an experience to see it on the big screen. It was an experience to hear that score through those speakers, and man, it was phenomenal. And I would love to go back and see it again. It's a 3 hour, 15, 20-minute movie that did not seem like that to me. I thought that it went by super fast. Maybe that's because I enjoyed it so much, but it had been about a year, a little over a year since I had last seen it. So being able to see it on the big screen was honestly just an experience that I won't forget. I kind of last thing I'll say on it is I kind of walked out of the theater, or I kind of walk out of some experiences like for Spider-Man, Top Gun, and I just thought the theater experiences were phenomenal. Not only because of the way it sounded and looked, but because of the crowd reaction. Well, me and the person I went with were the only two people in there. And my theater experience was still amazing. I was in my own little world, had the entire theater. We had the entire theater to ourselves. And it's just something, it's an experience that I won't forget. It's definitely in the top theater experiences of my life. Not because of the reactions or anything like that, just because of how I felt watching that movie on the big screen.
So I remember being excited to go see it, getting the tickets, getting in the theater, and then being like, just before the movie started, oh, I'm about to be stuck here for 3 hours plus, and I'm not going to be able to go anywhere else. And it's a movie I've already seen. I don't know how I feel about this. um, and I got to tell you, I fucking loved it. It was one of the best theater experiences I've had in the last half decade. The theater was booming too. Like, I have no doubt that, judging by the age of some of these people, um, that half of them were seeing the movie for the first time.
Oh man, what
Um,
an experience!
Not that they didn't know the ship was going to sink people, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's truly a masterpiece of a film. And I hadn't seen it in about 20 years, and I definitely can't wait to dive into it. And but Mike, I have the same itch you do. I'm like, Jade and I've been like sort of cautiously or hopefully looking out for like another couple or someone else that wants to go see it before they stop showing it in theaters again. I'll say this: watching it on whatever your home theater setup is does not compare to seeing this movie in 4K. And yes, it's 4K 3D, and I do not like 3D. I don't know many people that are more critical than me when it comes to 3D. And yeah, I don't think the 3D needed to be in the movie at all, but it did not at all hamper my viewing experience. I never once looked at a scene and went, "Oh, I can't see what's going on here." There's a ton of 3D movies, a ton of Marvel 3D movies in the early days of the MCU that I remember, I think it was Captain America: Winter Soldier in 3D was fucking awful. The scene with, I think, GSP. I think GSP's in that one. I don't know. Um, but like it killed 3D movies for me. I drew the line there, and I was happy I could go see this. The only knock I have on it, I know we're getting a little long here, is again, I don't think the 3D needed to be there. I wish they would have offered an ability to see it in 4K without 3D. But I'm glad that it didn't like ruin the experience at all. And I can't wait to just dive into the movie and review it and score it. I have a feeling it's going to be ranking pretty high.
Yeah, man. For me, I mean, like it's gonna be up there. So, yeah, can't wait to dive into that, man. Glad that's our gold room movie. That's a hell of a pick, and man, I can't wait for that to get here.
Ken in the comment section says, wild that Scream 2 and Titanic came out a week apart from each other.
Really?
Funny that you mentioned that because, and I was a kid then, but I don't know how their VHS releases lined up, but I seen Scream 2 and Titanic on the same night. So, until your comment,
Awesome.
though, I don't know if I ever would have remembered that. But I remember staying the night over at a friend's house, and they were the two movies they got, and we got to watch them. So it was good stuff.
Sean's dying.
Try not to die over here. All right, man. So there was there's no other way around it than to say a monstrous Scream 2, pardon me, not Scream 2, Scream 6 leak that got out there. it spread like wildfire. The truth is, it was already starting to circulate a couple of days before. But all it takes is, loose lips sink ships, and that's how this thing works. Mike, just your general um, feeling around what you've heard people say, and how the community's taken it. And I see a lot of people, a lot of angry people out there, and I understand why. Your thoughts?
Well, I haven't seen any spoilers at all, not in the slightest bit. I've been able to avoid. I've actually kind of laid off of Twitter here recently since I've known that the leaks were out there. I figured they'd be coming, especially a couple weeks away from release. So I haven't seen anything, haven't heard anything. The only extent that I heard was the leak is who the killer/killers are in this movie. And again, luckily I've been able to avoid that. But it does suck, and I understand people's frustration. I think the biggest frustration for, I guess, especially not only fans but content creators, something that I saw really kind of universal is people would like, obviously leading up to Scream 6, here at the Overlook on the Take One podcast, we're doing a bunch of stuff revolving the Scream franchise on the lead up to this Scream 6 release. And I've heard a lot of content creators say that people have just been commenting the leaks onto their videos or onto their tweets, and that's something that is very hard to control. I'm sure there's a way out there where you can control that, but yeah, I don't know. I just think that that's probably the most frustrating part is people for like us that are in the content creator, that community, that want to create content for people to, have something out there, or for us to, get ready for this movie people that don't want to be spoiled. We upload a video or a YouTube video, and in the comments we see, I don't know if it was a video or if it was just a comment. Just like, I just know that people were on there commenting on content creators' posts, giving the leaks away. Not even, honestly, I know a couple of friends who just tweeted about Scream 6 that they were excited for it, and I don't know if it was a hashtag, but it was like some random bot with no picture had the leak on there. And now again, I don't know if it's true because I told them not to tell me. I haven't been looking. So yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh man, I'm trying to do this as unique as possible here.
Oh, I was gonna say I wouldn't. I mean, I'd be careful in this video too.
I could see Dean's reaction being that when he heard the Scream leaks. He's just sitting there in his secret laboratory manufacturing the leaks, being like, "Yes." No, I don't think Dean would ever do anything like that. I don't think anybody should do shit like that. Anyways, to me, it's inexcusable when you spoil someone who doesn't want to be spoiled. Spoilers are a thing for every single project that comes out. That's just the age that we live in. There are very few projects that don't get spoiled. No Way Home got spoiled by one of the most popular fandom YouTube creators out there,
and I'm in the
didn't even know he was spoiling it.
And I'm in the minority on that one. I enjoy his show. I enjoy his content. Yep. I know a lot of people don't, but it's for reasons like that, and that's stuff that I can't, argue with. Like I get it. I understand.
Yeah, they don't really dabble in we're talking about the John Campea show, to be clear. They don't dabble too much in the rumor game. They deal with a lot of facts. And in fact, if you're a fan of Yellowstone, you might want to go check out the story they ran today. Let me tell you, Kevin Costner's doing everything he can to screw that show up. So, but that's a story for another day. Scream 6, though, man. Look, I feel like I'm going through deja vu. When we found out what was going on with Halloween Ends, it was kind of like a slap in the face. For me, not like personally, but like a wake-up call, like, oh shit, things are about to get hostile. And sure enough, if you go on to Halloween groups now, they're still hostile. I can tell you this: there are 2 different sets of leaks making the runs in terms of the killers, and one of them is true, and one of them is not entirely true. So take that for what you will. But look, if you're excited about a movie that's coming out, specifically a franchise movie that has stakes, mute that shit. Just don't follow it on social media. Don't go on Twitter. You might have your favorite content creators. Doesn't even matter if it's us. If you don't want that experience spoiled for you, stay offline, because all it takes is one dick in a comment section, one creator who accidentally slips, or a content creator who doesn't give a crap about spoiling you and will do it anyways, even if you don't ask for it. So that's sort of how I feel about that, man. I've seen some pretty twisted shit out there. I've seen people who were pro leaks Halloween now being like, "Oh my god, you leaked Scream! How dare you? You just ran over my dog." It's, I don't know, man. There's stuff when it comes to the content creation game that just, now that we've had a little bit of time away from it and you watch from a distance a little bit, you just got to sit there and shake your head and wonder who the hell's actually being on the level with you and who not, and who's actually, willing to ruin your experience for a film, a show, or whatever. I saw, do you know the day that Super Bowl weekend Last of Us debuted on the Friday?
What a fucking episode.
I still haven't seen the last 7 minutes of episode 1. So.
No, you're fine.
People had gotten a hold of a leak on the Wednesday, and I know people have already played the game and whatever, but I'm telling you, most of the audience watching the show has not played the game. And spoilers everywhere. Just intentionally blurting it out. It's not like me messaging you, Mike, and going, "Hey, do you want to know if Barney kills the Wiggles next week?"
Yeah, I think that's the one of the cool things I've always appreciated about you. It's something you'd always ask me. Did I want, if it's something, whether it was kills or ends, especially kills. I think it was kills. Like, did you want the script for this? You asked me. It's not like you just, you know what I mean? It's not like you got out there and ruined it for me or really, or anybody. You've always been forthcoming as far as, giving hints, as far as this is where we're maybe dipping it, when we've never really dived into like huge spoilers on the show, but we've always kind of treaded the line a little bit. But you've always been respectful about, giving hints and stuff like that, even with me behind the scenes. So that's always appreciated.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm gonna, by the way, it's a pretty active chat tonight, so feel free to comment whatever you guys like about anything. I would say Scream, Blumhouse, Halloween, or Scream 2/6 related in the comment section. Please do, and we'll get to it when we can. It's probably not going to be a long show tonight, but feel free to post whatever, and we'll get to what we can. I don't think you should ever. It's like anything else, really. It's kind of like consent, man. You shouldn't spoil people who don't want to be spoiled, especially like, imagine the people that have been clinging to the internet for every non-spoiler word on when they're going to get their next Scream movie, and they open up Facebook one day or Twitter one day, not looking for Scream, and the first thing they see is blank is the killer.
Yeah, man,
can't unsee that.
Yeah, you can't, man, and like, I'll be honest with you. We're doing over on Take One. I'm doing obviously the road to Scream 6, and there have been comments on my past couple of YouTube videos that I've uploaded, and I'll be honest, I haven't interacted with them at all because I'm afraid to go in there and look. Because like you said, I mean, that goes to your point. You're not going to be able to unsee that. So Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just frustrating. I've done really good so far. But it's only the 21st, and we still got a few more weeks to go. So, hoping we're able to stay clear of this. I know the embargo lifts the same week that the movie comes out, I believe. So just like they did with the last Scream, but obviously leaks are still out there. So got to be super careful about that. Yeah, man, I'm doing my best to avoid it, and so far so good. But honestly, if you go look at my Twitter, I've kind of laid off of Twitter. I mean, that's probably the main one that I have to worry about because I don't dig too deep into YouTube comments, especially on other content creator videos that I watch. I don't really look at the comments outside of what's on Take One and Phantom Empire. So I'm pretty good if I stay off Twitter. That's the cancer out there for sure.
Yeah, no, it can definitely be that way, no doubt about it. Um, how do you think this leak affects the movie, and do you think will there be box office repercussions from this? Um, it seems like it's already affecting the fan base both positive and negatively. Um, do you think there's any more fallout from this, or it's just out there and you gotta try to stay clean a little while longer, go see the movie, and at the end of the day, it probably won't affect the bottom line?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to affect the bottom line. What are they? 30, 35, 36 million is what their expected opening is. Somewhere around that ballpark, which would make it the highest Scream opening, I believe. So they got pretty high expectations for this movie. I think one of the things that's working in their favor is Jenna Ortega. She kind of blew up between the last Scream movie and this Scream movie. I've always been a big fan of hers, even before the last Scream movie. But obviously, with the Wednesday show becoming Netflix's third most watched show of all time, there's a lot of people that are a fan of hers that are going to go and watch this movie because of her. It looks like she has a bigger role in this movie, so I don't think it's going to affect the bottom line. Bottom line, Sean. I think they're going to do good. I think they're going to come close to expectations. I haven't been able to look to see what's coming out that weekend, but I don't think they really have anything to compete with outside of Creed that comes out the week before, though. So I think they're going into that weekend being probably for most people the most anticipated movie for that weekend. So they should have a very good opening weekend. I think they'll be good on the bottom line.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any box office fallout from it. In terms of the movie being shown in 3D, I don't believe the movie's only being shown in 3D.
It's not. It's not. I know. The unfortunate part is I know some friends that in certain theaters, like I have a friend in North Carolina, she bought early screening tickets, which is on Thursday, which it's supposed to come out on Friday, but you can all go see it. They have a couple show times on that Thursday previous. Well, in her theater, they were only showing it on that Thursday for 3D. So she was limited to what she could buy because she wanted to see it on that Thursday. But come that Friday for her, and I'm sure other theaters, it was all, you could buy 3D or regular tickets as well. But for me, I was able to snag tickets on that Thursday that were not in 3D. So not every theater is like that. It's a mixture.
So let's move on. Sorry, I thought I had something else there, but let's move on and we'll come back. Actually, do you want to do the chat now for Scream and then move on to Halloween?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good. Whatever you want to do, man. I am rolling. Your boy turns the big 3-0 at midnight, so I am here to stay.
2-0. You don't want 30.
I don't want 2-0 either. I want to be able to legally drink. Give me at least 2-1 or
2-2. Come down to Canada.
Yes. You got an open bedroom?
No, losing one of those. So, Mike says someone on one of your live streams kept posting that a main character in Halloween Kills died. Not gonna say in case someone hasn't seen it yet. Still enjoyed the movie. Yeah, people do that. We do our best
Yeah,
to
that.
keep up with it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of shows, especially ones that go live, have moderators. You know, you look at us, the Slaughterland podcast. I don't really watch too many others to be to be honest with you, but you know, we do our best to have moderators here on the show, and they do a really good job. It's just they're going to slip through here and there, and again, not even on the live shows, but some of the pre-recorded videos that are posted 3 days later, you might get somebody that goes into the comments and makes a comment. So it's hard to keep track of for sure, but we have guys like Dean, Matt, myself, Sean, others that really try to monitor that, and we do a pretty good job here, especially on the live shows. But there's obviously ones that sneak through, and no content creator really wants that to happen. So it sucks, but it's just kind of the way it is, unfortunately. Sean's on mute. I repeat, Sean's on mute.
Dean says most of their fans don't believe the leak, and they'll still go to theaters to see it. Some of those people you can tell blatantly confirmed info, and they won't believe it unless they see it. Yeah,
that's not a bad thing either, to be honest with you. I mean, that's kind of being in denial or hoping for the best, or you might have a feeling, those people might have a feeling that it may be true, but they just can't get through their minds that they possibly ruined something for themselves. So I agree with Dean on that one.
Justin says, I'm hoping to see Scream 6 during the day to avoid the teenagers in the theater.
All right, so that's a good point. I have appreciate you, Linton. Thank you very much. I have a theater that's very close to me. Thank you, Dean. This probably, honestly, I have a Regal Cinema that is probably about 9 miles from me, Sean. So it takes me about 10 minutes to get there. Very convenient, very close. But if I'm going to go see a movie on opening night, which is around usually 7 p.m., usually on that Thursday or that Friday, that mall is near a military base. It's near a college. So I know there's going to be a lot of teenagers there and a lot of people that talk during the theater. So I traveled to a farther theater to avoid that kind of stuff, because stuff like that pisses me off, honestly. So, but I can go to that theater if it's midday. You know what I mean? Or if it's a movie that's been out for a while. Like I went to my closest theater a week ago to go see the Titanic, and it was just me and one other person in there. So you gotta kind of play it out and kind of know your theaters. I know not everybody is fortunate to have multiple theaters around them, but I'll travel the extra 30, 40 miles to go to another theater so I can at least enjoy the movie without people talking or laughing or clipping their fingernails, digging in their nose, their butts, whatever they do there,
Yeah, I feel like I've just accepted the fact that whenever you go into a public movie theater, you're probably going to get someone that pisses you off. So that's the negativity in me. I apologize. Happy early birthday, Mr. Triple Glax, the big 3-5. Yeah,
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
I don't know what that's like in August. She didn't die in Halloween Kills. Wow, Matt. Yes, and there was nothing in the box in 7.
Sean, I got a question. Do you ever get the urge to watch a movie that absolutely, completely sucks, that you just do not enjoy, but for some reason it's on your mind and you want to watch it?
No, I have not thought about watching Halloween Ends anytime recently.
For some reason, I want to watch Halloween 5, and I hate that movie. But for some reason, it's just been on my mind the past couple of days, and I feel like if I don't watch it, it's going to keep bothering me. But I don't know why it's bothering me, and I don't know why I want to watch it.
Yeah, no, I've definitely had that feeling before. There's just some movies you want to see, no matter how bad they are. Jade and I watched some fucking Jennifer Lopez shotgun wedding movie, and
how was that? The only part I enjoyed, no disrespect to her, is when she almost got naked in the room. Other than that, but I enjoy J-Lo. I think she's a really good actor, but I kind of prefer her.
A little late to the party on that one.
Earlier in her career, I thought I watched a movie the other night that I hadn't seen in a long time. I don't know if you saw it. It's called Enough with J-Lo. That's a really, really good movie. She definitely had her prime, but I was like Jade kind of looking over at you when that scene came up, or did you like kind of play
No,
with your phone?
no.
I just
We're good like that.
I know.
I thought the movie was fucking terrible, but had funny bits. But most of the funny bits were stupid funny bits. It just looked like a
Yeah, I
terribly
got you.
put together movie. It was Jade watches it for that one girl who's the fucking I forget the actress's name, but she's the same character in every fucking movie she's in, basically.
Okay, I had to watch that.
It's the mother.
Oh, okay.
She's literally the same in 95%
Oh,
of the movies she's in.
she was in. Yeah, she was in the one. For some reason, her role outside of she's in the White Lotus. Which I
She's
watched
different in
recently.
that though.
But a role that she's the same in. I don't know if people have seen this. I watch it because I'm a big Hilary Duff fan. Like that's my number one crush in the entire world. But A Cinderella Story, she's in there, and literally, it's so funny you say that because as soon as you said she plays the exact same character, like she doesn't talk like that regularly in real life. Like it kind of pokes out a little bit, but not like it does in the movie. It's literally she plays the exact same person in every role. That shit is hilarious.
Hey, she's made a career out of it.
She has, yeah.
Dean says it's not necessarily bad. It's keeping an open mind. Matt says he'll be 69 in May. Matt Kreider says
The only 69 he'll see.
I have a tradition that every Scream movie after the first I've gone to the matinee on opening day. That's good stuff, man. Linton says 36, July 14th, old times. Linton, I never in a million years would have believed that you were 36 years old. I don't know if I would have guessed 26.
Listen, man, I'm about to turn 30. I'm out here making Facebook posts about please give me the recommendation to help with dry skin. Now you turn 30, you gotta do these skincare routines, and maybe I should have been doing that a lot earlier, but I don't know. It feels like I'm doing a lot more stuff now to keep the wrinkles out, the dry skin out, the everything. So I don't know. It sucks. I'm not enjoying it already, and I ain't even there yet.
Justin's like Stifler's mom. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. I don't know why that didn't come to my mind. I love the first two. I love oh, that's awesome.
What is Sean William Scott doing these days anyway?
Yeah, I don't know.
Seriously, I've not seen him in anything in forever.
It's the Stiffmeister, baby. Oh, man.
Boy. I wonder what his kids think of that. I'm sure he has kids.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully they're young enough to not watch that.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It'll
be an awkward moment when it happens. Speaking of awkward moments, let's talk about this next subject. Blumhouse has announced a venture into making and publishing video games with Blumhouse Games. Mike, I find this move puzzling for a couple of reasons. Let's see if you get it, though. What is Blumhouse good at?
Blowing smoke up our ass?
That too. They're good at making movies for cheap. They don't.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And a shit ton of money on their movies. You might start to see where this is problematic for getting into the video game industry. I've been messaged, I shit you not, almost half a dozen times today about this Blumhouse Games thing. And I understand why, and I know where people are drawing the connections. There's been a long rumored Halloween game possibly in development. We've talked about it on the channel probably 7 or 8 times. I know Jimmy Champagne's talked about it on his channel a few times. I know other content creators have talked about it. The problem is there's never been what I would call substantial evidence to support that there may actually be a game deep in development at the moment. There's been hints, there's been inklings, There's even been screenshots, but the problem with that is it's really easy to fake shit like that. So no, I have no idea, truthfully, as it stands right now, if there is a Blumhouse Halloween game in development. And I know some people might say, well, there's no way that they're going to do that, knowing that in terms of their movie relationship they had, it ended, at least creatively speaking. If I take the, the unbiased rope mic, I think I would say both parties were happy that the deal was over when it was over. That's probably the most polite way that I can put it, and I'm not the only one who's put it that way. That doesn't mean, though, that those two parties wouldn't reconnect to make a video game. Nor does it mean that they may have already been working on a video game and just didn't announce their creation of their studio yet. Those things have happened. The problem is, if that were to be the case, they probably would have announced along with the creation of the company, hey, our first big project is a Halloween game. My gut feeling says no, but it could be an interesting dynamic to look at in terms of maybe what horror-based games could we get out of this studio. Just let me remind you one thing. The Friday the 13th game, when it was all said and done, cost approximately, a little under $2 million to make. Okay. That game does not look good. And it looks good in terms of its film accuracy, but in terms of today's graphics, it does not hold. And that is as bare bones as you get for a video game nowadays. I just fail to see them ever spending the money to make a proper AAA game, Mike. This is very confusing to me.
No, man, I agree. It's interesting. I saw this a couple days ago. I think it was about 2 days ago when this story came out, and obviously the first thing that came to my mind was Halloween. And then again, I knew how their movie relationship went down. What does that mean for them? What could they do? All these questions were flowing through my head. I'm somebody who really wants a really, really good horror game to come out. I'm a guy who plays Dead by Daylight all the time. I'm really big on Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy right now, which is fucking phenomenal, by the way, for anybody who games. And I just really want a really good horror game to come out. Texas Chainsaw Massacre has been in the works now for a year and a half, 2 years. And that's set to release on March 31st. So a little over a month now, that game comes out. And I think we're going to see kind of where the horoscope is for video games once that video game comes out. Really excited for that game. Really excited to check it out. The graphics look good. But obviously you're not going to know until you actually are in the game and you play. So really excited for that to come out. But as far as the Blumhouse video game stuff, man, I wish I could say more on it. It's just I'm that guy who is like looking at the camera like this with all the question marks around his head because I don't know what they're doing here.
Video games, at least good ones, require patience. Something I don't have a whole heck of a lot of. I've been waiting for a remake of my favorite video game ever to come out for 2 years now, and I have at least 2 more years to wait. So these things do take time, and with time comes money. And I guess, maybe they're willing to invest more money into games to put out some high quality games. I just feel like the level of game that we're going to get from them is not going to be what people are thinking it is. So is there a Blumhouse Halloween game? The simple answer is I do not know. I would not rule it out. But for Halloween fans' sake, and I'm not saying this just to hate on it because of the way Halloween Ends went down, I would hope not. I would much rather see a proven publisher get a hold of the franchise. All right, Mike. Let's dive in to our featured film for this week. It is Scream 2, directed by Wes Craven, written by Kevin Williamson, produced by Wes Craven, starring David Arquette, Neve Campbell. I should have started with Neve Campbell. I'm reading off a list and I had David Arquette first. Apologies, Neve. Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Timothy Oliphant, Jada Pinkett Smith, Jamie Kennedy, Liev Schreiber, Laura Metcalf, Jerry O'Connell, Luke Wilson, Heather Graham, Tori Spelling, and Omar Epps. That's not the first time you're going to hear me go on about the cast in this movie tonight. Dude, big shout out to Arthur Vega, who sent in a $10 super sticker. I don't know if he has a question that he wants to send in with that or not. Feel free to send in a question and we'll read it anyways, man. So that's the cast, which is mind-blowing. We'll come back to that. But Scream 2 was released December 10th, 1997, I believe was the premiere, released publicly December 12th, 1997. It was made for $24 million, made $172.4 million at the worldwide box office. The cinematography was done by Peter Deming, edited by Patrick Lussier. He would go on to make My Bloody Valentine 3D, by the way. Dude, Scream 2, for me, spoiler alert, this is one of the movies, one of those rare circumstances where I believe anyways, the sequel tops the original.
Okay.
Mike's actual response.
Yeah, kind of. But probably a little lighter on the booze because I really enjoyed this movie. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with Sean too much on it. I actually really love this movie a lot. I feel like this is one of the I feel like Scream 2 gets a lot of hate. I feel like Scream 2 and Scream 3 get a lot of hate. I enjoy both of these a lot more than a lot of other people do, but especially Scream 2. Like, I have the first two Screams really on a pedestal, and I don't know, man. I just really enjoyed this movie. I do. It looks like you want to say something, so I didn't know if you want to go or.
Sorry, I was reading Dean's comment.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
I was a little puzzled by something you said there. I'm not a part of the Scream community. I'm not in a bunch of Scream groups. I don't know what's going on out there. I enjoy Scream as a popcorn horror movie franchise. Scream's not the quality of Halloween, not even close in my opinion. But I enjoy it for what it is. And so when you just said Scream 2 gets a lot of hate, I know I played the Boo sound clip, but I played that more because I know most people like the original the best. I wasn't aware Scream 2 gets a lot of hate.
It gets a lot when I see a lot of rankings, it's I see a lot of people put 4 at 2. So and
wait, fourth movie is the second best?
There, trust me. And I'm not gonna obviously we're gonna dive into all the other movies, and I've said it plenty of times discussing Scream. So this is no shocker here. I like the movies in the order that they came out. And that's kind of rare for me. I don't know, man. So really just sticking on to, there's just so many elements to this that I really like. I think Nev Campbell. One of the things that I like about this franchise in general, I just feel like Nev Campbell really progresses as a character in each film. Um, to where to where in the fifth movie she's walking up the stairs and she's like, "I've heard this shit already," or "I'm bored," and hangs up. Like, I don't know. But as far as Scream 2, man, one of the things that really stick out to me is the cast. I just saw the comment. It said the cast is stacked as fuck, and that's true. That's a hell of a way to put it. And usually, when you have a stacked cast like that, it doesn't always work out for the best. But I think this is a movie that definitely shies away from that. I love the opening to this movie. I love the whole theater vibe to this movie. I love the comic relief in the beginning. You got to suspend your belief a little bit about the knife going through the bathroom stall. That's just not going to happen unless you like really, really sharpen that knife. But I don't know, man. From the opening to the very end, I just thought was absolutely phenomenal. I love this movie. I love probably some of my favorite sequences in this movie is the opening. I love the slow chase scene between Ghostface and Gale in the like sound room movie theater or whatever type it is in the sound room where she leans up against the padded wall and he leans up against the padded wall. I love that sequence. I love probably my favorite part of this movie, Sean, is going to be when they wreck the police car and Nev and her friend have to crawl over Ghostface out of the front seat, and they were both able to get out. That scene right there was filled with so much tension. The camera shots that they were able to pull off in that scene were really phenomenal. So yeah, man, a lot of high points for me. I've grown to like Mickey as a killer. I'm not the biggest fan of Billy's mom being the killer. One of the other killer. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of corny to me. It falls in the same line as the killer in Scream 3, and we'll talk about that. But I think one of the reasons why that one of the biggest gripes that I had with Scream 2 for the longest time is I at first I really didn't like Mickey as a character. Or as a character and a killer. And the only reason because of that is because I felt like we didn't get to spend a lot of time with Mickey. Really, we get him through the first part of this movie here and there. And then the last time we really see Mickey on screen, Sean, is when that cafeteria singing scene. And then we don't see Mickey for about 45 to 50 minutes after that scene. And that's just kind of a little too long for me, but that's just me really nitpicking, here and there what I don't like about this movie. I love Scream 2, and yeah.
So this, first of all, I think Scream 2 is the scariest of the Scream films. It's the Scream film when I was younger because all three of those movies came out. I was fairly young. Scream 2 scared me the most. The cast, man, though, like, you can be as big a fan of the original as you want, but I will put the cast of Scream 2 up against most casts from most horror movies, period. Again, Nev Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Timothy Olyphant, Jada Pinkett Smith, Jamie Kennedy, Liev Schreiber, Laura Metcalf, Jerry O'Connell, Luke Wilson, Heather Graham, Tori Spelling, and Omar Epps. We're not talking 5 or 6 standouts. We're talking 13.
Yeah,
and some of the small roles in the movie. But
and you also got to think about when this movie came out, man. A lot of those people were in the prime of their careers. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar, I know, was really in her prime with her show. A lot of Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett Smith was really young then and in her prime. A lot of again, might not have the biggest roles, but I don't think any of them disappointed either.
No, I don't think so. I'm a huge Timothy Olyphant fan. I think he is a much, much better actor than oh my God, help me out. The killers in one. Matthew
Lillard and Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah, I will put Timothy. You go look at Timothy Olyphant's resume compared to those two. It's not even close. I almost wish we would have had a chance to see Timothy Olyphant get the Skeet role from one, but we don't. Skeet's
And
a good actor too, by
and
the way. I'm
and
not saying he's
and
not. He's
I'm the
not
drunk one. I'm the drunk one. I'm the one drinking beer tonight.
well, I don't wish I was beer. Hard liquor.
Career wise, I might agree with you. I think both of these. I think they're in their respective roles for the Scream franchise. But career wise, I would have to agree with you. I don't know a lot more that Skeet's in. Maybe I just haven't really.
He's been in. Did he do? I think he did a movie with Cuban Gooding Jr. back in the day.
Okay.
Anyway, he's been in a lot more than that. But Timothy Olyphant's been in like fucking everything. So
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how that pans out. Apologies for the baby you might hear in the background, guys. And no, I'm not leaving the baby unattended. The baby's being attended to. Let's not start that rumor now. How the fuck does Dewey survive this movie? Like,
how does Dewey survive? Period. And for spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the new Scream, check out now. I'm gonna give you 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. I mean, listen, and not jumping ahead, but the way that they killed, I have a problem with them killing Dewey in 5, for many reasons, and we'll talk about that once we get there. But the way that they killed him seemed like the only way that he could go out. Because, I mean, this man is just getting stabbed in the back. He's falling down steps. He has a limp. Like, what else? You either got to cut this guy's throat, did what they did to him in 5, or shoot him in the head. Because Dewey seems like somebody that just will not go down. But I agree with you, man. I agree. I thought he was cooked rice when he was kind of stabbed in the back there.
yeah, no, I thought he was too. Ghostface in this movie too is I don't know. He's a little more.
He's good. He's good. Yeah. Still clumsy as hell, but he's good. He's good. Again,
when he's trying to throw the chair through the fucking the soundproof glass window.
Yeah.
How did you think that was going to turn out for you?
That's funny. That's funny.
One scene I didn't care for though is the Jerry O'Connell singing one. I know there's some people that love that. I believe Johnny, who's on the channel sometimes, he's a huge fan of that scene. I know a lot of people really dig it. I don't know. That scene never hit with me. I always felt it came off awkward and
It's funny you say that. I personally don't mind it. I actually like it, but I was watching a bunch of interviews. Nev Campbell said that was her most awkward scene that she had ever filmed on a Scream movie. I was like, out of everything? But yeah, I thought that was interesting because that you brought that up, that she kind of brought that up too.
How did we feel about Randy's death?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
How do you feel about Randy's death?
Premature. Yeah, I didn't like it, to be quite honest with you. I just think that I don't know. I want to make sure I explain this right. Like, all right, so when it comes to Randy and when it comes to Dewey, I kind of sit there and think like, and I know this might be just overthinking it, but like, what did they die for? Like, Randy was just killed randomly in the middle of Scream 2 with like, he wasn't like helping nobody. He wasn't saving nobody. Like, what did he die? Like, what did Randy die for? Like, I don't mind that you're killing off Randy. I don't mind that you're killing off Dewey. But I'm just sitting here thinking, like, what's the payoff for this? Like, what are they dying for? They're not doing anything. Like, they just came, both of those deaths kind of just came at very random times in the movie. I would expect a Randy death to come at the end of the movie. I don't know. Personally, I just didn't like it. Again, I don't mind that you kill Randy off if that's the decision you want to go to. I still think it may be a little premature. I think you could have got another movie out of him. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way that they did it, quite frankly.
I was thrilled with it. I'm not a pro Randy guy. I thought I mean, he basically gets told he's going to get gutted like a fish, and he gets gutted like a fish. And say what you want about the Scream movies, but perhaps one of the elements that needs a little more attention that doesn't necessarily get focused on a ton is the fact that most of the victims in Scream movies, or not most of them, some of them anyways, know that they're about to die before they die, or that there's a damn good chance that they're going to die on the phone. Where, Michael Myers is just sitting in the closet and Freddy's a dream guy. And, it's a little different. I'd like to see a little more focus maybe put on that.
No, I agree. I wonder if that's going to be a switch up, and you bring up a really good point. The only person that I can there's a couple, but like I don't know. You're right. I mean, they did it. They kind of did it with the new movie, but they were kind of with no name characters in a sense. Like they did it with the guy, that dickhead behind the bar that was taking a piss. Ghostface had really no interaction with him. He just kind of showed up and killed him. And then with the sheriff's son, he kind of just showed up on him too. So there's been a couple of times, but I agree with you. That's a hell of a good point out. I never even thought of it like that. You're right.
Yeah, like I'll never understand. Like, one of the first things I heard about the trailer that we got for Scream, this being the first one, and actually I think there might have been a photo before it, is, oh my God, Ghostface uses a shotgun. And people start bitching. And, I sit there and think to myself, the idea of Ghostface, we're 6 movies in now, people. It's not the first movie or the second movie or even the third movie. The idea that he or she is willing to, bust out a shotgun and blow someone away, to me, makes it all that more threatening.
Yeah, I agree with you, man, and I don't understand the uproar on that. Like, you might have a good point if like that's Ghostface's like main weapon that he uses in this movie, but it's obviously not. We know he's gonna go with the knife that he uses, that iconic knife. We know that's what he's gonna use. I don't understand the bitching. He took that gun from somebody and used it on them, used their own weapon on them. Like, I have no problem with that. I think that makes him more badass. I think that makes him different, like he claims to be. Like they've never seen a ghost face like him. Well, that's one thing to do. Like, I love it, man. I like it.
And like in reality, how many times do we see ghost face killers with a gun in their hand after the mask comes off?
Exactly.
Almost all the fucking time. Like, oh, well, now I have the gun. Why not have the fucking gun while you have the suit on? I like it. It's something new. It's something different. And hey, if some guy gets his head blown off in a store, I think the problem is people want to, in 2023, Mike, anyways, people are going to want to make it about, instead of it being, just, hey, it's a entertaining horror movie, it's going to be, well, what about gun violence? And because Ghostface uses a gun, it's not as personal, so it's taken away from his kills. And they'll find something, whether it be, narratively connected to the movie or not.
I agree.
All right, dude, let's go through our scores here for Scream 2. I just got to pull them up. Mike, what did you have for story and pacing, man?
Let me find it. Story and pacing, I gave it a 9. Again, I love this movie. I love Scream, period. So my scores are going to be high. Just letting everybody know. But I gave it a 9, man. I felt like the story was really good. The only problem that I had with the story in general was what just was not a big fan of Billy's mom. Like, I understand you can kind of make that work and it kind of makes sense, but why is she all of a sudden coming back now? She abandoned him. That I don't know. That just never really sat with me well. But as far as story and pacing, this is a easy watch for me. I think that it's paced good. We get Ghostface and just the amount of time that we need him. So yeah, I gave it a 9.
I think that the movie's paced better than the first one. I've always had an issue with, like, there's this half an hour period in the first one where I feel like nothing happens, and I don't think we get that lull in this movie. And it's done really well. And, like, not to mention the intensity and the tension when Sydney's friend there, I can't remember her name, is climbing over Ghostface in the car. It is fucking awesome.
Hell yeah, that whole sequence is awesome. It's my favorite part of the movie.
It's very well done. Very, very well done. But I gave story and pacing an 8, man.
Awesome.
And acting, I mean, I can't, even though I went on about the cast, I can't say the entire cast gave their best acting performance in Scream 2. That would be going a little too far, but I gave the acting an 8.5.
I gave it a 9, so we're pretty close. For all the reasons that we kind of alluded to in the beginning.
Cinematography, I gave an 8. I thought it was an uptick on 1. That car scene specifically, I know we're, beating a dead horse here, but the way that scene is shot, lit, the way it goes down is fantastic. The school setting is great. Scream 2 just has I don't know. For me, I like it better in every way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it better, but I did give it an 8 as well. Two of the scenes that really stick out to me is the car scene. Again, beating a dead horse with that one, but it is really that good. For the confined space that they were in, the way they were able to get the camera shots right in front of Ghostface mask, the Sydney climbing over him, like, it was just done it was like, it's perfect, man. It's a perfect scene, perfect sequence. And then another one that sticks out to me is, although it might not be my favorite scene or one that's really memorable for me, but as far as cinematography, is when she is on stage doing her performance for her play that she's in, and you get glimpses of Ghostface in there while the music is going, the lights are flashing, and she sees Ghostface here and there. I thought that was done really well as well. So yeah, I gave cinematography an 8. And for writing and directing, jumping into the next topic, I gave it an 8.5, man. I thought there were no holes in the story. It does kind of lose me a bit when we go back to Billy's mom. I know I'm going back to that again, but that's the only part of the writing that I really was just not a big fan of.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Here's the problem for me in Scream movies is the killer reveal at the end always just fucking kills me, because I feel like shit gets stupid then. And in 2, as much as I love Timothy Olyphant, you get the aunt from Roseanne there, and Timothy Olyphant, and I don't know, man. It just comes across like cartoonish at times, and it definitely the ending of the movie loses some major points for me.
Makes sense. No arguments there.
Sound and score, man.
For me, I'm going with an 8. I thought the soundtrack in this was really good. I'm a big fan of really all the Scream soundtracks. I just think the score in them are really good. It fits the movie. And even the songs that they have in this movie, especially how they end these movies, I just think they're done so well. So again, not something that's like super, super iconic, but I'm gonna go with the 8.
I went with 7.5. I don't know. the scores for these movies have never really done much for me. I am curious though to hear the new movie and its score, because to my understanding, much like the movie itself, it's tonally different from the others. So definitely looking forward to what it brings. Let's bring the graphics up here and what our scores ended up equaling, Mike. Story and pacing was a 9 for Mike and 8 for me. Acting was a 9 for Mike and 8.5 for me. Cinematography was an 8 from me and an 8 from Mike. Writing and directing a 7.5 from me, 8.5 from Mike. And sound and score was an 8 from Mike and a 7.5
Score's a lot closer this time.
from me. Much, much closer. And you still like the movie more, even though you didn't like it as much as the first. And then the overall scores, Mike comes in at 85%. I came in at 79%, giving Scream 2 an overall score of 82%. Mike, it's been fun, dude. What do you got going on?
Yeah, man. I had a blast tonight. Really, really good show. Appreciate everybody in the comments. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Continuing our road to Scream 6. Over on the Take One podcast, just came out with Scream 3. So we're gonna we'll be right on track to finish with the newest Scream the week of the release of Scream 6, and really the same here at the Overlook Drive In. So a lot of good, exciting Scream talk coming your way.
Justin says, speaking of Kieran, what happened to him? Kieran is alive and well, and will be back on the channel again. And I don't want to speak for him, but he might be working on something for himself and someone else that you've seen on this channel before. So when and if they do something, we will put out information for that. And Kieran will be back on the channel, though. Things have just been crazy. Hell, we haven't been on the channel a whole heck of a lot lately. And speaking of which, there are some significant changes coming. We are moving, and we're moving out into the sticks, basically. So our internet is not going to be anywhere near as good. Good news, bad news. Good news is I can promise you there is a bunch of YouTube content coming. And if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, it teases that a little bit. You're just going to have to view it on different YouTube channels. So be on the lookout for that. And there's still shit coming to this channel too. So be on the lookout for all of that as well. Mike, you got anything else going on, dude?
I do not, man. I do not. Just excited to be here. Excited to be here next week, man. It's gonna be great, man. On the road to Scream 6. Super excited for it.
Absolutely. Anyways, take it easy, people. Oh, wait, Mike, are you going to see Cocaine Bear?
I am.
Good man.
Yeah, we're gonna review that.
Fucking right we are.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. My most anticipated movie, even more than Scream, is Creed 3. I'm very excited for that movie. One of the biggest things that I'm excited of, I see a lot of people say that they like it the best out of the past 3 or the past 2. And then not only that, you know me, we're like Sean, I'm a big IMAX movie guy, and this movie was shot in IMAX. So I can't wait to see those fighting scenes in IMAX.
I'll have to consider checking it out then. I was kind of turned off with the whole Sylvester Stallone.
Me too.
Falling out thing, and but if it was shot in IMAX, I might have to give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. So,
anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back next week, maybe later this week. You'll have to wait and see. Lots coming. The Legacy Project is coming soon. Big shout out to our sponsors that made this episode possible. Mr. Matt Whitfield, Mr. Jason Knight over at Backtrack Cinema. You can go check what he's got going on over there. And Mr. Chris C_78 on Instagram. Check him out. He has got Myers Rehall mask available over there. Myers Rehall masks available over there, or you can get work done, I do believe. And Jesse, Don't forget him. Bunce Force Trauma, Tasty Tree Master at yahoo.com, Bunce Force Trauma, and Facebook /Bunce Force Trauma. He's also got a YouTube channel out. I don't have the link for it handy, but we will get that posted in our descriptions moving forward. We're back, not going anywhere, and we still got this little nugget to come. We're a little late doing it, but it's coming. Anyways, for Mike, I'm Sean. See you next time. Take it easy.